tell. You know you love me.
Hi collective, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. My name is Felicia and we're back with another pick card. Okay, we've covered this topic on the channel, but if you are an it thing, then you know you must keep up with the latest juicy tea, the hot topic gossip about you. Okay, so if you do not know me, my name is Felicia again. I'm a human and civil rights advocate, and I run a nonprofit in women's health called DIVAS Can Manifest org. That is a health innovation getting fully integrated with artificial intelligence. Welcome Elon Musk to the collective. Thank you for being here. Choose from the over here selection. We have 3 perfumes. All of these perfumes are from Cosmic Intelligence. That is our community spiritual shop, and I'm so excited because we have vintage pieces there, epic one-of-a-kind pieces, and recently members of our community purchased some of our thrifted second upcycle pieces, and I'm so excited. You know, perfumes are not the only thing that we have over there. You can shop artisan jewelry as well as upcycled special finds. So these perfumes are available in Cosmic Intelligence, and all the proceeds help us pay our bills, help us keep our lights on so that we can keep making this information accessible to all. Group 1, you are the Element Edition Rose Quartz. Group 2, this is actually a restock, as well as this one, Manifest Your Happiness by The Good Scent. And then Sweet Spell is also available, a limited selection in Cosmic Intelligence, but we really appreciate you being here. So this tea is an urban slang that refers to gossip, juicy information, and personal secrets. So it is, we're asking the latest news or drama about you. Could be about your truth or your business, something popularized, something extremely interesting, dramatic, but informative. Okay, so let's get into it, friends. Choose your selection, choose your perfume, check out this spiritual shop, and I am so honored to be here with you all. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in your selection. Hi group 1, welcome to your selection. So you chose Rose Quartz. This is available in Cosmic Intelligence, so go ahead and shop her, check her out, and let me know what you guys think. Okay, so let's get into what is the juicy tea about you recently. Okay, so what is the gossip, personal secrets, scandalizing, dramatic news about you as of right now? LOL. Okay, group 1, what is your juicy scandalized secret? LOL. Oh, Venus tea. Okay, LOL, Venus energy. And then so this is, you know, this could be about your beauty, love, and artistry. So there could be comparisons that are getting made, and the juicy tea is that you're the one that's preferred. Okay, so you know, I don't think that this is actually something that you're celebrating though. Okay, so with this Venus energy, this could be regarding your romance, adoration, infatuation, pleasure. This could involve perfume, pastries, rose petals, Taurus, Libra energy as well. But people are saying that you are thick. Something about people are saying that you're thick, or they're saying that you're the hottest. Okay, you look the most hot, and they're saying that your body sure looks beautiful. Okay, so but I don't think that this is something that you're celebrating. A lot of this is infatuation, okay? And it is not a real honor, okay? So this feels like, you know, these people who see your body and they're like, your body sure looks beautiful. It's often an intense, short-lived, and irrational passion or admiration. And it is characterized by idealization, physical attraction, and it might even feel euphoric. But I think that you are more of an image rather than a deep knowledge or a deep intimacy in this situation, okay? Let's see more. I think that it's not just about your beauty. It could be that you also are innovative. And they're saying that you have the primordial power of desire with this person, okay? If this is a romantic person, they're saying that some of them are saying that this is not just an infatuation, that this is the primordial power of a married union. Some of them, they are a bit surprised that you have swapped blood and semen with this person, okay? So if you have children, it's just a lot of gossip around your love, wealth, and fertility. But I think that, you know, some of this, there are paradoxes of this romance, especially because some of this is short-lived in admiration and less about you, about someone knowing you. So I think that that could be the juicy tea, especially if they're talking about marriage. They could be saying that in your marriage, you might have an open relationship, poly relationship, and they're saying that you and your partner have the primordial power over each other because you have a deep knowledge of each other as a person. And this, I know it might feel weird to have an open relationship sometimes when you're considered to be the hottest or the best, because you know that anything else that they explore will never compare. I also could think that, you know, this could create a lot of drama because some of you guys, there was someone around you who became obsessed with your genitalia, and they became a power-hungry tyrant because they've been trying to stop you from coexisting with your partner where they have the primordial power. Does that make sense? There's something that represents opulence and aesthetics, but a lot of the paradoxes of these romances are infatuation, superficiality, or materialism. This could be a situation where, you know, people see your body and beauty and they project a lot of superficiality and materialism, and, you know, I'm getting that strangers could become infatuated with you because of how you smell or watching you indulge in something. And some of this is a safety issue, but I think that what is really spooky, I think that is getting spookier and spookier actually, is that like there is this situation where strangers become infatuated with you because of your body and beauty, and you know that it's a superficial admiration, because they don't have a knowledge of who you are as a person. Like if you keep catching people staring at you, or you get, you could be getting harassed, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, some of you guys are getting harassed. People have not been able to take no for an answer. Some of you guys, you smell like a rose, and when they smell you walking past them, it reminds them that their needs are not met, and that and if their needs are not met, they're nowhere near close to being wanted the way that you are. or something like that. And you know, I just think that you know, strangers in the general public could be becoming obsessed with you when they smell you, or they start to imagine your home or what your partner is like. They'll know, like, I don't know, especially like if these are people that you do know, and there could be people vying for your attention or your partner's attention. You know, they never compare to your scent or your status. And you have, you know, their juicy tea is that you're courted by someone. Okay, someone, you know, you're courted by someone, prescribed in the manner of law perhaps, and you are like a goddess walking. And you know, this person that courts you, they're saying that this is a primordial love, and that this desire is based on knowing each other, swapping blood and semen, and that is a big difference between, you know, that of other relationships that you've had that have been short-lived, that have been infatuations, where it has been really a superficial obsession. Okay. Leo. Okay. So this is interesting because with this Leo energy, this person could be a male. This person could have dark skin. They could be they can be from the East. They can be from the Middle East. They can be Indian or from Nepal. This could be darker skinned people. Somebody could have locks. But I think that there are relationships, or maybe there's one relationship that's highlighted to you where there have been people infatuated with you, and it feels very deep and intense. But if it's short-lived, that shows you that it was an infatuation and that it wasn't a connection of deeply knowing someone, that it was a superficial value of your body sure looks nice, right? But when they see more, or when it's time to court you, or when it's time to establish, it's like these infatuations always fall short in establishing. Okay. This could be someone that you had unprotected sex with, someone where it could have been a one-night stand, or it was you know, maybe there wasn't a whole lot of courting, and there was a big difference between you started to learn the difference between a healthy romance and these ones that are just people who become obsessed with your beauty and body, like strangers in the general public. You walk past them and they smell you, and they become obsessed with how your home could be, and they just start watching you with an unconscious gripping of not, you know, of whatever, or projecting something superficial or material onto your beauty and body. Okay. And this, you know, I think that the juicy tea is that, like, you could be cursing people out. Some of y'all, you could be, you know, coming at people's neck about this, because it's like something where people, they're very dramatic about your beauty and body. So I know that it seems, because you have this deep primordial love where there's like, you literally swap blood and semen, and you literally some of you guys have become pregnant, or you have become a mother, or you are getting courted for a serious relationship. All these other interactions just irritate you, okay? Because you know that it's just a bunch of people sitting around obsessed, like, you know, because of something superficial and materialistic. Okay, we have harmony. That's the Ten of Cups energy. That's beautiful. So I think that this you know, the juicy tea on you is that this person is your Ten of Cups, is your happily ever after. This is the relationship where you find the most harmony. Okay, this is the person who you know, is a total success, is what I'm hearing. Someone here is a total success, in their approach to you, especially if they've courted you. You know, this has been, they really have, you know, made big promises, kept their promises, fulfilled their promises, had a lot of understanding. They have been very, some of them have been silent in their approach, and they have been responsible in their approach. And I think that this makes a big difference to what you are, to what you could have been experiencing with these superficial and materialistic relationships, where they were really short-lived distractions. Okay, listen to your heart, move according to your heart. Whatsoever the stake, a condition of complete simplicity, costing not less than everything. To be simple is arduous, because to be simple costs everything that you have. You have to lose all to be simple. That's why people have chosen to be complex, and they have forgotten to be simple. By only a simple heart throbs with God, hand in hand. Only a simple heart sings with God in a deep harmony. To reach to that point, you will have to find your heart, find your throb, and find your beat. So there's something where you, the juicy tea is about something emotional, okay? And it could be about this relationship with this person that's extremely smart, like a dolphin, lol. But I think that, listen to your heart in this situation. You might feel that there's a lot at stake, but I think that healing the ancestral patterning, the wounded feminine energy, and accessing the divine feminine energy is you choose the person that you love, okay? There's no amount of money or circumstance that I think that you should put over that, okay? And I think that choosing your partner based on a shadow attachment, like materialism, something superficial, will, those are likely to fall apart, okay? So people are gossiping. The juicy tea is that, like, I'm also getting from the, especially from the text, right? This, you are very simple. And so seeing you out in the public or just around, you're simple, but I think that people have been having a tendency to have like very dramatic reactions. And so this is very burdening. It's because like it's like your beauty is always the highlight. It's always something to see. And y'all, this is just, you might feel like you're a damn celebrity everywhere you go, because there are people who just won't take their eyes off of you and your mouth. Like something where they keep looking at your mouth a lot. And like strangers, like on the transit or in the stores, it's just like they'll sit there for 60 seconds staring at your mouth, or staring like, and it's like an uncontrollable staring, and you know that they're thinking about something superficial. Like and they're just so uncomfortable and so weird. It makes you feel like they're dangerous, because like, why on earth would you be staring at somebody? That's so strange. Like, that's so strange. Okay. Divine animals, of course, divine as fuck. Okay. And so like I was saying, this simple, beauty that you have is, it has made you number one in somebody's life. I don't know what happened, but it's, the juicy tea is that like there's all these people around you that have to do a lot to adorn themselves, but your simple beauty, they know that it's something arduous about your simple beauty, and that it requires a lot of care. They know that it involves good hair and good hygiene, and when they smell you, that's your scent is your spell. And that's like, some of you guys are not very indulgent and like you don't do, maybe you're like, I'm not gonna say minimalistic, you could identify as minimalistic, but it could feel like you really just don't do a lot to adorn yourself, and that just seeing your bare face and your scent, your natural scent, or you out of a bath, it has people obsessed with you and hallucinating about you. Okay. So I think that it is this tenacious relationship that you have where you are courted and experiencing harmony, and they have your heart. Okay. This person is also divine, and so the way that you have been approached has been totally different than what you are experiencing from the majority of the conventions walking around projecting something superficial and materialistic. Okay. This, the juicy tea is about one of your soul companions along your journeys. Spend time with your pet or in the company of any animal to realize the same light that flows through you through all living creatures. We all create different containers for our soul experiences depending on our individual desires and dreams. Some of you guys were drawn to group 3 in the enemy video that was just posted. Humans experience greater contrast than animals. That is why our influence and creations are wider reaching. However, this also makes it easy for us to split and stray away from our hearts. Animals reflect the divine love that we are. When we are around animals, it is easier to move into alignment, where we can be inspired to grander creations. People often believe that they receive unconditional love from an animal, as an animal is more likely to be aligned with its soul instinct and doesn't need you to be different to who you are for it to feel love. You will feel free to be who you are. When you emulate this behavior for yourself, life becomes the most relaxed, loving, and your relationships will catapult to a whole new level of joy. So I definitely think that this is a situation where your relationships catapult to a whole new level of joy, because you are moving beyond that superficial unconscious gripping to your simple beauty. Like your natural beauty is just be like, it'd be a whole observation and show on the transit at 2 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is weird and uncomfortable, but it's showing you a convention that you are ascending above. Okay. I think that the juicy gossip is about a relationship that you may have strayed away from, but there has been a reconciliation or returning to home where you remember that this is where your heart is aligned. Okay. And there's a whole new level of joy here with this person. Okay. I think that most recently, what could have changed is that you may have recently gained, with this Leo energy, gained a new performance, a new proud and new proud or performative engagement with this person, something that has improved your confidence, and it has catapulted you guys into a whole new level of joy. And I think it's someone who has really been patient and understanding and responsible, and have not pressured you like some of these infatuated people are. Like, there are so many people sitting around infatuated. Like, if they rushed you, if they did not let you rest, if they were chasing after you, if they can't stop staring at you, then just know that that's an infatuation and admiration and an idealization, and that's not someone treating you like a human being and trying to get to know you. Like, you'll see like that there's so many people who don't actually get to know you, and that, you know, as soon as you start to be different, then, you know, they might have, like, you start to learn that they need you to be different than who you are, and you'll know that that's also an infatuation, or somebody who's just been attracted to you for a superficial value. So, you know, what's the juicy tea? Okay, so we have the child. Some of you guys, you met this person when you were a child, and they have just been patiently waiting for you to give them an affirmative consent. They have been falling in love with who you are as a person, and not because of, oh, your body sure looks great, but when you show personality, you know, you realize how short-lived it really is, right? They're saying that this person is just as smart as you, okay? We have the book. And then we have the letter, okay? People are saying, you know, the juicy gossip on you is that people are saying that you received a letter about a secret that has been a secret or something unseen that has been occurring since you've been a child, okay? I also think that, you know, what, you know, the juicy tea on you is that people are saying that you kept your house a secret, okay? Friend, they're saying that you kept your house a secret, you know, because you were given this house as a child, and they see that that you had been, most recently you sent a letter, or you sent out important information, where these people got news of your house and saw that it was a lot of wealth, and they see that there was a lot of wealth within this house, and they're like, why didn't you tell us about this house? You have been keeping this house a secret until you got more confident or something. Friend, they're saying that you kept this house a secret until you got more confident, that you didn't let them know that, you know, that you had this house, and that you had all this harmony in this house, and I think a part of you could have, you know, for a while could have felt like life was mundane, boring. Maybe there was a disconnection from this house, or maybe there was a break, and they see that something aligned you back, and this is like something aligned you or brought you back home, and this was the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Harmony, the Ten of Water. Definitely check out the water sign, the water element video that was recently posted, because I think that there was a whole swing of emotions when you reached this milestone and got more confident to tell everybody about your home. I'm hearing something where you got more confident with the Leo energy to talk about, to reveal your home, and when they saw your home, they got pissed off, okay? I also feel like you know, people are saying that you've had all these experiences since you were a child, where people have become infatuated with you, or people who have been just buying you houses, like something where, you know, your partners just gift you homes, or they pay your rent a lot, and they're saying that those were just the superficial materialistic relationships, but this was your true home that you have been concealing, that you have been waiting around to, you know, for these other frogs and these other duds and these other ducks, you know, until you revealed the goose. It's like something when you revealed the goose, friend, everybody was like, oh, you were just using those other people as pawns, you know, so that you can become more confident to show us your real house or something like that. They feel like you were lying, or that you were keeping this big secret of a happily ever after, okay? Like, you didn't let them know that where your heart truly was, okay? They saw you with all these other relationships that were superficial, but it was like your heart was somewhere else, okay? And what did I say? The nourish the sacred feminine. You are the sacred feminine in this house, and this person gave you this house as a child, okay? Nourish the sacred feminine. Cozy up with risk, okay? And sacred mirrors, yeah. What did I say? These other relationships, they were mirrors. They were sacred, and they may have, like I said, they may have been obsessed with you, but those were infatuations, and they showed you that they mirrored back to you the superficial value and helped you understand where your heart truly was, okay? And it was with somebody who was patient, kind, understanding, forgiving, someone who gave you this house as a child, someone who knew, you know, they were responsible about you, and you knew if this person is patiently courting you, if this person truly courts you, then you know that they have been responsible and safe. Okay, so that's the GCT on you currently, group 1. And they see that, you know, a lot of you getting this big house, you have to take some risk. They're saying that you and this person are a power couple. Okay, some of you guys, this is a sports authority home. Okay, some of you guys are big in sports, or there's a great fortune around a performance. Yeah, this was a big blessing. And they say that you were lucky as a child to be getting this, you know, find this true love when you were a child, where they just gave you a house. Okay, something where they just gave it to you, friend. And it made you, they see that, you know, when they gave you this, you will keep, it was like something where they saw you just out taking risks, friend. They saw that you was, but nobody really understood, you know, what you were doing and why you were doing it. Maybe they thought that you were just being superficial and materialistic, but you were really taking risk so that you can grow your confidence. And when everyone saw what you revealed, they saw that this was truly, you know, that this was your protection, and that this was actually going to punish those who have harmed you in the past as well, the people with the superficial and materialistic value. When they saw this home, they knew that it was your protection, your heart, and that you had took all these risks just to be with them. Okay, so yeah. LOL. So what's the GCT on you, group 1, and then we will wrap. You know, that's interesting. They see that you're very, that this house was unconventional. This is an unconventional house. Something about it could be a racial difference, a big age difference, especially because this person gave you the house as a child, and they said that you were lucky to receive this offer of a gift, or that you were irresistible to them even as a child. Some of you guys, they're saying that you and this person have had an unconventional relationship, maybe an open relationship, because you've been a child, you know, with a wild sexuality, taking naive risk, and they have, you know, been, you know, they have been also waiting for your body to mature and waiting for you to give them an affirmative consent. And so they see that you've recently had the primordial power with the affirmative consent and things of that nature. Okay, LOL. Or you control this person's yin. So I know, you know, ain't no third parties unless you say so. Okay, and we have the 10 of Wands. They're saying that because this relationship is unconventional, that you had to take a lot of risk. Okay, they feel like because you were a child with the 10 of Wands, they see that you've had this gift of a house is a big responsibility. They could feel that you, while this is your happily ever after with the 10 of Water, that this could be a lot of responsibility for you. Okay, and so some of them were very understanding of certain, if you could have been making mistakes, because they know that this gift of a house is a big responsibility. Okay, and you were just a child when you received the house. Okay, so you know, I think that there is a burden in this house, okay? I don't necessarily know why, but I think that you can come to this home and, you know, it's nice, right? Because they have this big, beautiful goddess to significate the house, right? But some of this is, you know, you could be burdened by some of the unconventional aspects of the home, okay? And especially because sometimes you'll find your partner entertaining something less fortunate. But I think that you'll bring a balance to, you know, I think that you'll bring a balance to whatever unconventional struggle that they were having, and understand that this took risk, and certain, there's no wrong decision that was made, but I think that there is a lot of responsibility and burden around this relationship, okay? Tell me about the Hierophant, okay? I think that because, you know, this Hierophant could reflect the people who don't have financial security or protection of the home. So I think that this person brought the burden of, you know, they could have brought the burden of a third party or something, you know, a struggle with the unconventional aspect of your relationship. And so the people who are not, you know, I think that this is a burden because it's not their home. And you guys may have an open relationship, and you might appreciate the beauty in others and enjoy other people's company. But you know, you and your partner, who are smart as a, you know, as a whistle, with the dolphins being represented here, you know, the toxic conventional problem that you've been having in your relationships up until this home have been that people project onto your beauty. Maybe they don't expect you to be smart, or maybe, you know, they don't expect you to have personality. And you and your partner are so smart and aware that you know that any other relationships that you explore are just people mirroring your home, okay? So you will never, I think that you should never risk your house, because especially if people see your house on display, or they see two attractive people or two, you know, great looking suitors, right? They will immediately try to project the role or the ideal image such that they could try to steal and undermine the house. But you and your partner are so, you know, you and your partner are so smart, okay? I think that people come around and they have no hope, that, you know, that they will be able to have a house with you, but, or your partner, but it could create feelings of burden, or, you know, having these extramarital affairs bring risks to your relationship. It bring risks to your house, your financial security. So I think that some of you guys, if you received the gift of a house as a child, you have to, I think that it could be worth considering if this is a mutual dream, a strong bond between two people where they need to continually invite the burden of risk into your relationship and into your home, especially if it makes you uncomfortable, okay? So, you know, some of you guys, the juicy tea is that you have to choose between partners where there could be this bright, shiny object where the person isn't, it's not a mutual dream if they need to go explore or continuously burden you with the risk of exploring, okay? Some of you, this person just, if this is not a mutual dream and you guys still have a house together, I think that if they did not if they are exploring options, you are learning that this is the unconventional relationship where they actually don't have the mutual dream. Some of you guys have a mutual dream with someone else, or you might share a home with someone, but you might have a mutual dream elsewhere. And so some of these, that could be a burden, okay, in your home or in your other relationships. But I'm also getting that the people who do not share the home, or they're just, like I said, they're just projects, they're just our friends that mirror our home. I think the juicy tea is that, like, you guys never move forward with them because you know that they're just projections of your ideals. Because it's too much risk, truly, to invite these people into your home. Because a lot of you guys have a great fortune, and if you have a great fortune, I would hope that you have a mutual dream, and hope that you would, put your mutual dream and your partner's safety first always. And so, these other people, they are very burdened by your home, and the burden that that they're not the ones where they share the address. They're not the ones that get the financial security. They're not the ones, I think that they truly lose hope in life comparing themselves to your home. Okay, LOL. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That the people who that are just your friends, or the people who represent your ex or something like that. They represent your ex or past options that you consider. I'm hearing that you may have had 100 suitors, but they will feel burdened by who you chose. Okay, especially some of you guys, if you are the masculine and you chose a beautiful woman, they buy ugly houses too. So they're ugly people get houses too. But I think that the people who were not chosen to be in the home, they will always have this burden around your home. And I think that takes, I think that you guys are just learning how to not let this stop you from having peace in your sanctuary. Okay, so the juicy gossip is that people are burdened that they were not chosen to be in the home, chosen to be the mother. Some people are burdened that your home is unconventional, that you guys have a age difference, a racial difference, right? With the Queen of Swords, some of you guys, this person in this home, they may have given you this home, and it may have been the foundation for your life. But I think that some of you guys, you had to take so much risk in order to get to the home, or get into alignment, that you have a bitterness, is what I'm hearing. Some of you, but I feel like with the Ten of Cups, it's not you that has the bitterness. These are their exes, or people who received the information, or received the letter about your home, and they became burdened, and they couldn't stop thinking about your home and your partner. And they feel, with the Queen of Swords, they're truly bitter, and some of them feel abused, or they feel like they're so pissed off that they were not chosen for the home, and they just keep internalizing it around the beauty. Okay, some of them could feel that you and your partner are really cold towards each other in this home, and that the flames kind of died out because there was so much responsibility of the home, that you evolving and changing and adapting just brought a bitterness. It's like something where you grew bitter and started to explore, didn't care about the home anymore, or something like that. Let me know how this resonates. Don't forget to shop Rose Quartz and Cosmic Intelligence. All the proceeds go back to our channel, help us keep our lights on, so that we can keep making this information accessible to all. But until next time, I'll see you in the next one. Hi Group 2, welcome to your selection. So you chose Manifest Your Happiness by The Good Scent, one of our best sellers of 2025. A limited edition is restocked in Cosmic Intelligence, so go ahead and shop her so we can keep our lights on. But let's hop into, what is the juicy, sensationalized news about you, okay? Something about your smile, okay? Your smile or your happiness is the juicy tea, okay? Because some of you guys have manifested a miracle, okay? And they can't believe that you have landed on your feet again. You got 9 lives, friend, and you can never lose, okay? Because you guys are divine feminine, and so you always get what you want, okay? We have Mars, okay. So, Mars energy, this feels like a competition for your happiness, okay? Yeah, this was a competition for your happiness, and I know that this got out of control because in the end, this just means that they didn't have their own happiness, or they were intoxicated with your dreams and potential and what brought you happiness. And so these people were very misfortunate. This could be, I'm hearing Aries or Scorpio energy, trophies, rewards, sex, masturbation, tenacious relationships, determination, devotion, lust and sex, your personal drive, some type of beautiful expression that has been depicted as violent, okay? There are military conquests, battles, soldiers, agricultural innovation, farmers, getting things done, taking actions, staying motivated, the copulation of the birds and the bees, LOL. Cardinality, lust, and virality. Okay, LOL. So that's funny, friend. The juicy tea on you is that you're violent, and it's actually a beautiful expression. They're saying that your violence is actually a beautiful expression. They could be referring to you as cannibalistic or carnal. This is something where you stop being so, some of you guys are very classy, and you may have been perceived as pretty, privileged, soft, not having hands, you know what I'm saying? Too classy for everything and stuff like that. But it's something where you start showing people a little bit of your wild side, a little bit of your rugged side. And some of them, they know, y'all. People, the juicy gossip and tea on you is that people know that you're like this goody two shoes or this nerd. And so your violence is a beautiful expression, okay? People have been saying that you're getting attacked by your family, okay? And these could be, these are the people that you've been having fond memories with. And so this is the family. This is how family violence can be destructive, is because it's hard to discern the violence when there are also shared fond memories, okay? So they're saying there's something that you're doing violent with your family, okay? They actually really like to see you cursing your family, okay, or something like that. Like you fighting with your family is a beautiful expression, okay? So let's get some more. What's the juicy tea on you? We have the waxing gibbous moon. Some of it, people could be saying that it could be reckless or having unintended consequences. But they're saying that, you're like, I'm not worried about no unintended consequences. I'm cussing my family out or something like that. Is you cool? No, you're not cool, especially when your family is violent. Like that's definitely traumatic experiences and blocks your third eye chakra. Okay. The waxing gibbous moon is all about tending to the finer details of a situation. The flowers are blooming, but they still require your attention. Enjoy the beauty, appreciate the beauty, but be sure to check in frequently of your garden could get infested with the mites. You have dropped the ball recently. If you have dropped the ball recently, this card is a gentle reminder that you still have a chance to pick up where you left off. Trying to cheat or cut corners may work in the moment, but these shortcuts are always discovered later on. Y'all. Y'all, okay. So it's something where they see that you have a beautiful garden, and this is referring to your family and your wealth and your family's abundance and prosperity. But they're seeing that the garden was infested with the mites, and so they said that you did something violent to fumigate the garden, because there have been people here that have been trying to cheat or cut corners, and they see that whatever was done for that short-term gain was undone and discovered later on. Okay, the juicy gossip and tea was something where somebody cut corners or did something, may have made a violation, cheated, and it was discovered later on. Okay, so they see that that's why things got violent or something like that. Tell me more, group 2. Letting go. The 8. Okay. So, yeah, I think that because there's somebody here where you guys, there was a lot of playfulness, and things started to get intense, especially when people started to cut corners or cheat. And so it required you to let something go, is what I feel like, okay? But let's get from the text. About the juicy tea and gossip on you. Currently with the, that's actually really funny. Go to, so let's see what we have to say from the text. In existence, there is nobody who is superior and nobody who is inferior. Okay, the blade of a grass and the great star are absolutely equal. But man wants to be higher than others. He wants to conquer nature. Hence, he has to fight continuously. All complexity arises out of this fight. The innocent person is the one who is renouncing the fighting, who is no longer interested in being higher, who is no longer interested in performing and proving that he is someone special, who has become like a rose flower or like a dewdrop on a lotus leaf, who has become part of the infinity, who has melted, merged, and become one with the ocean, and is just a wave, who has no idea of the disappearance of the innocence. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense, but that's really beautiful. Okay, so this violent situation that you've been in, this is the juicy tea in your life. They feel like you have finally let go, and because there are people here, and this could even be family, who are fighting for authority, fighting for power. And it's crazy because everyone is like, what was discovered is something that they were doing that was a violation, to exert their own tyranny and control over a situation. And this is harmful because we could have had fond memories with these people, and so the family violence is that we have these past memories of fondness, but they have been doing something violating, exploitive, in their position that they've had a part of our family or in our garden. So this, this juicy gossip and tea is that there was a fight for those who had a classist or elitist mindset. They see that people were around you fighting, to be superior, or fighting, but they're saying that it was really their thoughts that made them inferior. It was really their own behavior and their internalizations that caused them to fight. And they're saying that you are the innocent person that has been renouncing the fight. Okay? That you were never interested in being higher, that you were never interested in performing, that you were never interested in proving that you were someone special. And so it was discovered later on with these people, inevitably, because people started to realize that your violence, while it may have been seen as reckless, it was later discovered that it was a family violence where someone violated you to force you to make you feel inferior or force you into inferior, because that was truly how they felt about themselves. Okay, so they see that a situation got violent and aggressive because people kept projecting their own inferiority complexes, and you have been renouncing the fight, or you have been you haven't been performing, and you haven't been performing, and you haven't been trying to prove. And there's so many people who keep up the discord, who keep up the, they keep talking about, keep saying that it's their house, or they keep saying that, they keep trying to challenge for authority. And you're like, we're just a big family. Like, we all have an important role to play. And so it was discovered that these people were not keen on fellowshipping, that these fond memories were not something that they value. So that means that we should also release our value to the attachment to the memories, okay? With this letting go. Anybody that keeps fighting for inferiority and keeps fighting for superiority, you're like, I was never proving my point, I was never performing for you, and it's just, this is the light that's coming into the matter, where people are discovering the hidden motivation and the truth. Okay, so that's really interesting, group 2. So this is difficult because some of these people are, this is where you come from, or your family. Okay, and we have there's only light. Okay, love is sought after and extraordinary. Darkness is just the absence of light. Okay, we seek clarity of light. Okay, so some of you guys will benefit from watching the air element final trifecta of the manifestation. A lightness of being in light bulb moments. Light bypasses the analytical mind and takes us straight into loving wisdom. It is time for you to step into your shining light. Be illuminated. Let light in. Today is the day to release any disturbances in your energy. Happiness will come naturally. You do not have to fight or prove anything, okay? And that's why it was naturally given to you, Divine Feminine, because you received it. You were not trying to prove yourself. You were not trying to perform and fight for performance that makes you inferior, okay? Be illuminated. Let light in, okay? Happiness will come naturally unless you do something to prevent it from happening. Release all that is stopping happiness from flowing into your world, and it will appear before you. If it seems too easy, but it is truly that simple. Until you realize this, you remain connected to the belief that struggle is required. Struggle is not required, okay? The people who are fighting for superiority, fighting for power, fighting for performance, they're truly struggling, And that's their toxic beliefs. That's their scarce belief mindset. Perhaps more respected, less laden path. Less, like, your path is definitely more respected and less laden. You haven't been struggling because you are divine feminine. You are divine feminine. You know how to detach and let go, and you are definitely more respected. You do not have to struggle to be appreciated more, and definitely don't go against your soul, and feel your way back into your heart and soul, because I think that this violence and aggression, where truly these people have lost tons of respect, okay? And this fight against you, it just keeps making them look, it just makes them look less and less respectable and honorable. Okay, so tell me about what's the juicy tea. Now, I'm not going to say, definitely defend yourself, definitely protect yourself. This is self-defense with the Paulus, but I think that there's that. Okay, so especially if there are people going to prison, friend, there is nothing that you need to say or do. Okay, you don't need to fight back, you don't need to clap back, you don't need to get aggressive, you don't need to do any of that. Honestly, you might do it because you're mad and sad about what they did, especially because you could have fond memories with these people. But when it's revealed, and it's been revealing and getting exposed, violence and aggression, it proves that they are mentally ill with the inferior mindset. In existence, no man is inferior to the next man or woman, but it is your behavior and your belief that you must struggle to reach your goals. Going to prison is a struggle, is a failed struggle, in an attempt to reach some type of goal to make yourself superior. But it really proves that that you haven't had a true consciousness, that you haven't been authentically empowered, especially if you need to undermine someone else's power to win. Okay? So tell me about the situation. Okay, yeah, superficial. Okay, big obstacle, something that you needed to adapt through. Yeah, because it was about wealth, friend. Okay, it was about wealth, and you having more wealth than them would mean they feel like that's what makes them inferior in existence, is not having as much wealth as you. Okay, it's like these people truly got an F on their test. Okay, and that's what makes them inferior, is because their beliefs led to such a negative thing. Like, why did you do that? Like, why did you do that? And especially because people are discovering it. Some of them never expected people to discover that they were, fighting for wealth. Okay, because they saw you as a threat to their wealth, where you would be naturally selected in an environment, and that's what they deemed and what made them feel inferior, is that they saw you, if you were a threat to their wealth, they saw that it was too much pressure that you were applying, friend. They were like, that's too much pressure, we have to start committing crimes against them. Crown chakra energy, yeah, this was a lot of negativity, because it was all about people who felt really inferior and started competing for wealth. Okay, so the juicy tea is that there is some superficial and shallow obstacle in your way. Okay, And it is, some of you guys, this is literally, you know, you've had to go to court about this, okay? And you've had to, some of you guys have had to go to court to protect your wealth, because these people have been, they have, you know, they have been attacking your wealth, and they have been obsessed with your wealth from the jump, and how it would, you know, some of you guys, especially if you have like an elite social class, or you have an elite network and connection, it is just, you know, they're having a hard time with the class divisions, okay? But they make themselves look so bad fighting for money, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, is, you know, wealthy people, you know, they're saying the juicy tea was like something that's related to your class, social class, and that like you were never friends with some people, or you were never relating to them. They just saw your wealth and became obsessed with how you were naturally selected, and and had been able to receive wealth easier. Like with this letting go energy, your path is more respected, and there has been, you know, less laden and on your path. And you know, the people, you know, the more we discover that they have not really been wealth, means that they really, like, they were not as smart as the people in your, you know, social class. You know, we're not going to say, you know, I was reading this post recently that got me thinking about social classes. Now, clearly I'm not a classes person, but there is a big difference in the amount of information. It's not about money, it's about information and your beliefs. And some people will try to make wealthy people to be evil spirits because they have wealth. But a miracle that we've ran into is where the wealthiest people are the ones saving lives. The wealthiest people have been the ones that have been making big promises and have held spiritual convictions and have been spiritual and deep, okay? So it's really these, you know, it's not to enforce a classist divide about wealth. It's about you, and, you know, it's so that you keep internalizing your lower social power around your beauty or something else, that it makes you aggressive. Like, I think that's where we can draw the line, is that, like, there's something where you're truly lacking wealth because you're not spiritual, you're not benevolent, you're not kind-hearted, you're not smart, you know. To, like, people who are wealthy are extremely smart as fuck. So if you're not smart, why would you be getting mad about not having wealth? Like, it's only the work that you didn't do. It's only the books you didn't read. It's only the yoga that you didn't do. It's only, you know, things that you didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm disadvantaged, or I'm marginalized. Oh, you have unfair advantages. Those are a lot of different excuses where you have held on to a belief that struggle was required to meet your goals. So this is the crown chakra activation that I feel is happening in this situation, especially as you guys may be resolving a financial dispute about wealth at court, okay? Where there was actually something violent and aggressive to stop you from having wealth, okay? And it's because it made them feel inferior, okay? Does that make sense, or something like that? The edge of evolution feels messy. Definitely on the edge of the unknown, magical child. And there's a lot of evolution where you receive your wealth, is what I'm hearing. Prosperity sisters are happiness and joy. Yeah, I think that these could have been financial disputes with your sisters, and they just were not, some of them, they have this paternal attachment issue to your romantic partner, and they just, they had the inferior complex mindset and belief. And this court, in this court matter, there could be a dispute about the wealth because they're considered to be sisters of prosperity, but we are learning that there's unexpected money because of violations or crime. And so when we consider if they are to receive an inheritance, I think that it's pretty clear that they're not. Okay? They're not sisters of prosperity. They're sisters of inferiority. They're the ugly stepsisters. Okay? Where the pressure that you applied made them pop. Made them lose everything that they have. Made them go to prison. Okay? So, we have overrate your intuition. So, this, I think that this was something that you needed to adapt through, okay? Because you have, you're very, you have a wealth that people keep trying to steal. And there's only light in this court, okay? Whatever, they were discovered, okay? So, but they were an obstacle that you had to adapt through, because when you got to the root of it, it was about inferiorities, about organs and wealth, and how your organs are deemed to be more wealthy, okay? So, yeah, your masculine's influence brought a lot of wealth, and there are people who are at court fighting for wealth, but they are actually bringing unexpected money to your marriage. They're actually bringing you more wealth. It's like something where they tried to do something to stop you from being wealthy. This actually made you more wealthy. This actually made you wear your masculine's crown even more. It's actually made you express for your masculine even more, and you had to, something where you've had to fight people since you were a child, okay? And there are like all these people fighting for the wealth at court, like something where the juicy tea is that there's all these people fighting for wealth at court, but they're going to prison, and you're the one getting the high honor and the sanctuary, okay? LOL. But tell me more about this overrate your intuition, okay? Some of you guys, there is purity and devotion in your marriage, but, do not, in this court or in this decision making, make decisions that'll give you the highest amount of utility, that are aligned with your heart. Don't choose the person that has the most money. Choose the person who respects you the most, okay? Not somebody who keeps getting blocked by a superficial sister. Somebody keep getting blocked by a superficial sister. Somebody who was committing crimes and going to prison, and they're trying to dispute their wealth. It's like there's no disputing the wealth. They lost their wealth, and that's the struggle, and that's the irony max, is that the more you struggle for, the less you receive. Okay? This is the discovery that we're making at court. Okay? So that's unfortunate. Temperance. Yeah, people who were pretending to be sisters of prosperity, they want to heal. Okay? They want to heal because they haven't been temperate and moderate. They've been greedy, selfish, and they have not been able to defend their position. Okay? They overrated their intuition. Some of them, they didn't know that your wealth was protected by a man, and so they were not expecting you to have this leverage or this stake at court. They did not expect you to evolve from something that they did, where the punishment is prison. Okay? Some of them, they overrated they thought that they were spiritual, they thought that they were intuitive, they thought that they were psychic, and they were not expecting you to evolve. Your intuition didn't tell you that, did it? Your intuition didn't predict that I would evolve beyond to sentence you to prison. You didn't think that would happen, right? LOL. That's really funny. And this, all this, as they get discovered more and more and more, they realize, they keep, retracing their steps as to where they misstepped, friend, where they fucked up, and they overrated their intuition, thinking that they would get away with this, and then they didn't. Okay, something at court where, a superficial relationship with sisters, oh, but those sisters were a part of your prosperity. I don't know them hoes. Okay, and now that we know that it's something where you discovered that they were going to prison or committing crimes, this lets you know that they were fighting for existence and that they were inferior. Especially when they overrated their intuition to be doing that. Like, it's something where they thought that it was a sure thing. They thought it was a perfect crime, and it was not a perfect crime. Okay, yeah, prison, especially because something where the authorities, when the authorities got wind of it, the authorities started watching them. Okay, the authorities started regulating them, started moderating them, started surveillancing them, and they can no longer commit crimes against you. Okay, that's the juicy tea, is that like these people at court, it was discovered, their defensiveness was discovered, and this made them lose their wealth. Okay, some of them, it was like the authorities attacking a child, and that was really bad to be getting discovered. But I think that truthfully, their own thoughts were inferior, and so everyone stops, like they're not respected here at court trying to fight for wealth, because there's absolutely no distribution of wealth, only the court order for a prison. And so that's the irony of weakness, you guys, that everyone is gagging about, is that they were fighting for wealth because they saw your existence as a threat to their existence, because they felt like you had the advantageous traits that would be naturally selected in an environment such that you would be better able to adapt. And they were not able to defend. They overrated their intuition. They didn't expect you to evolve and adapt. And they see that with purity and devotion, that you were not chasing a performance or wealth, and that got you performance and wealth. Isn't that ironic? Is that all that struggle, all those struggles that you went through, and now you're about to receive the greatest struggle of all time, prison for life. Okay, that's really unfortunate, these people, because some of you guys, they were once your sisters, that where you guys were supposed to be on the journey of finding happiness and joy, and then it was discovered that they were, fighting for wealth. Okay, and lost. That's what I'm seeing, group 2. Let me know how that resonates, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hi, group 3. Welcome to your selection. So you chose Sweet Spell. This one's available on Cosmic Intelligence as well. So shopping it gives back to us, helps us keep our lights on. So let's see what the juicy tea, gossip, sensationalized news about you is. Group 3. Okay. So this could be about your fashion. We have change, we have deep thoughts, and then we have sorrow. Okay. Clarifying the change. Group 3. The people are saying that there's an ally, a friend or a brother that is helping you adapt to a change. But this person, they're your friend. But I think that if you are pushing, like, for romance in a situation, I truly think that they see you as a friend, or they have they see you as a friend or they see you as a child. And so some of them are not meant for children, friend. Okay, so if they're in the news, you know, as a pedophile and things of that nature, you heard it here first. This person is not made for children. Okay. So LOL. If you know, you know. Group 3. The juicy tea is that this woman who may have high honors, who may be at your job or at your school, that this person lost. Okay, they lost to your ally. So they say the juicy tea is that there was an older woman around that saw that you were when they saw your spouse when you were a child, they got angry. Okay, because of the way that you communicated with your spouse when you were a child. It showed that you were getting married, like this was a child marriage, or that this was you had somebody whipped at a young age. Okay. The juicy tea is that you're getting your way about something. That you're winning in a matter. That you have the upper hand in a situation. Okay, that you have the psychic advantage. Celebration, yeah. You're the one celebrating, friend. The 10 of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So you guys have been celebrating a big change that has been inspired by perhaps an ally of yours, a brother, a friend that is helping you solve a big problem in your life. But I think that if, you know, a lot of you taking the expectations of romance off of the table will help for better cooperation, okay? Especially because some of them see you as young and as their friend. But for others, this was a problem with a woman who saw that you were in an unconventional relationship because of age difference or because of some other difference like race, culture, even same gender. But when someone saw the way that you communicated with your spouse, they got pissed off. This could have even been years ago when they saw that your spouse was white or that you had a mature communication. They knew that you were advanced or that you would be more successful than them. They hated that this unconventional relationship or something like that, just gave you a house, gave you marriage, gave you what you needed because they couldn't resist you. And so this has been their tiff when they saw you, you know, communicating with an unconventional spouse or something like that. Okay. Group 3, let me shuffle some more. This is one of the cards that got damaged by Chanel Chance. So it smells just like, you see, it got damaged, but I hadn't used it because it was damaged, but I really still like it. But anyways, so a little bit extra shuffling to get it going. Leo energy. This came out in group 1, so there may be messages for you there. But I think that you have had a lot of sorrow. So, if you're celebrating now, please celebrate. Please do not feel bad for celebrating. Please do not feel bad for the people who are going to prison. Please don't feel bad for this older woman that has been envious of a child. Okay? Don't feel bad. Okay? What? Divine masculine. Yeah. So, this person, they see that you're celebrating your divine masculine. They see that your divine masculine is already a friend, already a brother, already, y'all already cool. Okay? maybe you just met this person, or you're just celebrating this masculine coming to give you what you need, okay? And how they have contributed to you feeling confident about yourself, how they motivate you, how they establish you. But the juicy tea, someone's name starts with the letter B. They can be a Virgo or a Leo. These older women, they hate to see you with your divine masculine because they know your divine masculine is in deep thoughts about you. But the thing is, something where your divine masculine has a lot of sorrow, probably because some of them are richer and older than you, and you guys are mirroring sorrows, but you might come from a different social class or something like that, okay? This gossip also, they're saying that this tea is about like how you make someone smile. You're the reason why this person smiles, and everything that they do is centered around you, okay? They're celebrating with you, you're celebrating with them, but you guys had a lot of sorrow. They see that the change is getting inspired by your divine masculine or something like that. They could not stand when they saw that you had your partner whipped or something like that. Okay, some of the men starts with letter N or R. When they saw that you had this person as a child, okay, this is the issue, okay. And we have Maven, and then we have Archangels. This kind of was a theme in yesterday's reading, is that like some people, you have become a Maven no matter what your age is, or if they consider you to be a woman or a child. This they're saying that your masculines have been divine and have helped you, have been your allies to helping you become a maven at something. And now that you're a maven, you're celebrating a milestone or accomplishment. Some of you guys, this person was stolen from you, okay, with envy. And there's a big loss of the discord, okay. But I think that it's strange because like some of you guys, this person is just to help you secure your great fortune, to become a maven in your occupation. But some of you guys want nothing more because of, you may have heard of them having an issue with your age or trust issues and commitment issues, and you're just like, let's stay friends, okay? Let's stay friends, okay? LOL, we don't need to have a romantic relationship. The hardware is no longer hard, okay? So we can be friends. Just give me my money or something like that, okay? So, integrate your knowing. More integration happening here in terminal E, okay? And the now, you're celebrating. So if you're celebrating in the now, that means you're successful. And then we have fearless expressions. Yeah. Your expressions were extremely envied. Like, whoever this was, this woman, or whoever this, person that is viewing your divine masculine, it's like they watch you transitioning or going through a change with, staying present in the now, but knowing that this future unfolds, okay? Tell me more about the change, or tell me more about the deep thoughts, okay? That now is a time for reflection and adaptation with the fish, yeah, of your masculine energy and influence, they can't resist you. So LOL. But some of you guys, there's a lot of burden and grief and loss around something that has been happening at court, or some other change that you've been having to go through. I feel like for some of y'all, if you've been in court since you were a child, this has been a very sorrowful experience. This court, when people found out that you were receiving an inheritance, or that you were going to be receiving a lump sum of money, they knew that it was because your divine masculine was providing, with the sun, providing structure, logic, and support. They're saying that your divine masculine made you a maven, and so that's why you're winning at court, is because of your divine masculine. And so them hearing about this, seeing, I feel like there were extenuating circumstances outside of court. Like, I don't know what has been going on, but there's been a big change or something that you've needed to adapt and survive through, that you may have felt like that has brought a lot of sorrow, actually. And so a lot of this has been when people saw, you might have already been at court, but if people saw that you were at court winning, if they saw that your masculine was providing structure, logic, structure, and support for your business, or at court for you, or if they saw that you had this divine masculine, that they were irresistibly attracted to you when you were a child, there were people who started to attack you and harass you because of your masculine's influence. Okay, someone's name that starts with the letter A, N, or E. They started to harass you because of what your man did. Okay. So, LOL. So, what is let's get the tarot card. Okay, let's get the tarot. For the juicy tea, excuse my runny nose, as per usual. Okay. So, what is the juicy gossip and tea? Yeah, the Tower. LOL. What are they shocked about? We have the Ten of Cups in the reverse. They're saying that you and your masculine still have not reached fulfillment, okay, with the Nine of Wands, because they say that this person is projecting an expectation, and they're saying that in order to have fulfillment, there needs to be a contract here. Some of you, this contract is getting, there's a contract getting created at court. But I feel like these people were very shocked. They were very shocked to find your partner, okay? Or they were very envious to find your partner, okay? But this partner keeps having volatile mood swings, friend, okay? And so it's hard to finish a court or to get a contract cut, because they keep they're under an illusion or a projection, or they just something where they have expectations of a child. Some of them, because you are a child, some of these people have turned against you when you became a maven. They're saying that this divine masculine helped you since you were a child, but things changed when you became a maven, when you became an expert. They said that this person started to fold and flop and fawn because they couldn't handle you having your own, with the Ten of Wands. They couldn't handle you being successful at a young age, or they couldn't handle you when you became a maven, or when you started making your own money. Things changed. They wanted somebody that they can financially coerce and control. And I think that if things started to change when you became a maven, or when you started making your own money, this person did not have the best intentions to begin with. Okay, with the Strength card, this person definitely had been, throwing tantrums and, about your position, age, wealth, status, and it was because you were considered to be a child. And so having this great fortune and being a maven, or having this partner whip since you were a child, was something that pissed a lot of people off. I don't know if this is one person, but your divine masculine and your maven expertise has pissed a lot of people off, okay? And some of them, some of them start acting wild when you started to when you became independent or something like that, okay? Or, when you became a maven, you started to express in a different way. And so they feel like some of them didn't like the way that you started expressing after you became a maven. Some of these people felt like you changed. With Leo's energy, they feel like you, that your performance changed, that your expressions changed. They feel like, through this adaptation, you changed. You were not the person that they met 6 years ago or a while back, and some of you guys grew very embittered by how much you had to adapt. Some of them offered really no support in helping you adapt. Some of them have been around celebrating with you, and they celebrate with you now because you were Maven, but these people were not with you shooting in the gym. And they cannot keep projecting their expectations of your status or position, and I just think that they, let the contracts determine what their expectations are. Don't go back and forth with no bitch. Like, I don't know what's going on. This feels like so all over the place. But I think that you're definitely celebrating. You're definitely, the sun is definitely coming out for you after adapting through a period that brought you through a lot of sorrow. So if anybody's mad about how you expressed today, or they're mad about, they can feel like you changed, well, so be it. And so it goes. You know what I'm saying? If they can't handle the heat, they should stay out of the kitchen, okay? And we can tell that they really ain't been in the kitchen like that. LOL. But I feel like, in this situation, the juicy tea is that, like, people were shocked by your spouse, okay? Maybe you introduced your spouse, or you introduced something worth celebrating, but they're saying that you guys will not be happy until the contract is fulfilled. And some of you, if the contract isn't fulfilled by now, this person, they were envious of a child, okay? So it was because you had a gift, or you became a maven as a child. And so this has been the big problem. This is the juicy tea, y'all. I don't know if this is your divine masculine or somebody viewing the connection, but I think that you definitely have an intimacy with this person. But some of them, if they get together with the people who are envious of you, so that's really awkward. But I think that they're getting together for court, and to try to understand how these people have had a psychological illness about your home, how they've been age discrimination. It's for unofficial purposes. But I think that you were really burdened by all the responsibility as a child, but you were successful. And so if they have a problem with some of your expression and stuff like that, just make them, I'm not going to say you have to tell them about, the expectations that they had of a child. I don't know what this was, where they expected it not to be hard, or they expected you to be happy, after all this. Really, these people stripped you of your innocence when you were a child by giving you this huge responsibility of marriage or an expert position, and then have the nerve, like something where they had the nerve to be mad at you for being a maven as a child, but they were also the people who stole your innocence and forced you to become a maven because you were dealing with a stressful situation at court. So it's weird. They're like, oh, you're a child. You're not supposed to be expressing so serious. You're supposed to have more of a sense of humor. You miss the nuances. You're only concerned about the technical analysis or the medical review. You're not like something. I'm like, of course, because we've been at court for a long time. And it's been bringing me a lot of sorrow. While y'all sitting around talking about something that's a child, does it look easy? No, you've really been burdened by a big responsibility of becoming a maven as a child. Like the T on you is that the T-ness on you is that you've had a rapid acceleration in life, but people are actually really, really envious of this rapid acceleration, despite it being something that was so burdensome for you. I think the last thing that you wanted was this responsibility, okay? And so, all these projections onto your life as a child and envy because of your success as a child, you're like, don't be envious of me because, if you couldn't walk a mile in these motherfucking shoes having to have this responsibility as a young person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. Group 3, that they were envious of you as a child and this was just a burden for you, okay? And so they keep projecting expectations of a child, and they keep, I think that there could be challenge around communication styles because there's age difference, and so some of them be getting offended by your expression because they're older, and some of them are from a different culture, and they just have an expectation of the way that you should talk to them, an expectation of the way that you should handle them, and you're like, don't expect shit from me. I'm a professional, and so, don't be trying to ask me to cool and coddle you. Like something where somebody wanted you to cool and coddle, but they had to stay strong because you was a maven. When you didn't meet those expectations, it was like something where you were not keen on cooling and coddling anybody. We don't give a fuck how you feel, bitch. We're not apologizing because we're not sorry. Okay? Especially because there's been people who've just been sitting around envious of our house, creating sorrow. Like, we're definitely not receptive to that. Okay? So I think that there's a delay. And this delay, there is like, I don't know what could be happening in the delay. Maybe there are risks that need to be taken during this delay, or somebody needs to stay strong because I feel like you're already celebrating, but whoever is staying strong, they can't accept this is the now. They can't accept that there has been a change since you've been a child, that this means that you're a maven now, that you're more successful than them when you were, by the time, at this age. Some of them, these are other children who don't have the same lot in life. They don't have the same performance. They don't have the same home. And so this delay is, for you to, especially if you're a child, for you to have some expectations, engendered some awareness about some expectations about your wealth that you're receiving. Like I said, this has been people getting mad at you for being a child that was advanced or having a partner that was older and whipped for you. But you guys have really been getting burdened and embittered by this responsibility. So that's the wild irony, Maxer, my good friend, my good bitch. Okay? And that a lot of these people have really just been binding themselves to your home because they were jealous of it. Okay? So yeah, because it's a sanctuary, it's intimate, it's private. Okay? And you were just a child friend. What did I say? They were like, how you have this intimacy and emotional satisfaction with this child, and built this whole tree up with this child. They were like, this child was responsible for all this, and they were like, yeah, this child, I'm in love with that child or something. But there's so much discord about you as a child friend, and I think that you guys, marrying a child is something that will be heavily scrutinized. Like, they will really scrutinize you. But they cannot deny that you have been a powerful maven and authority. They said that child is a maven. People, this is the issue, y'all. Okay, I'm finna head out. Alright, we good. Alright, group 3. That's the juicy tea on you, is that you are this, you've been getting prepared for marriage since you've been a child at court or something like that. You're just like, I'm pissed that I had to give up my childhood for this because, people, I don't know, your home, your sanctuary was advanced, and so they burdened you with this responsibility. They said that child advanced as hell and started just this battle at court, or this, you know, there was a rapid acceleration in your life that, you know, where this really, you were not happy about it. You know, they think that you were happy because you were, like, I don't know, they projected, friend. And some of them, they thought your life was easygoing, happy-go-lucky, and you're like, look, I'm a child, and this is my wish fulfillment. You know, I think in the end, it is your wish fulfillment, but there was a lot of sorrow getting here. Okay, does that make sense? I love you guys so much. Don't forget to shop Sweet Spell and Cosmic Intelligence. And I think that you guys, there are a lot of people that got to stay strong watching your family tree, your marriage, your home, your intimate sanctuary with your partner that's nurturing, sensitive, and caring. But yeah, go ahead and check out Sweet Spell and Cosmic Intelligence, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.